G'day and welcome to episode 2 of Cup Talk. Well, the Louis Vuitton Challenger Series is well underway. Obviously yesterday or overnight the racing was postponed due to a wild storm that moved in and lightning. You've probably seen some of the images that have been shown of actual lightning hitting the course. So it was postponed. We're into round robin 2 and it was postponed. So this is the second round robin now. This is the second round robin. There's 2 round robins. We've had round robin 1. This is round robin 2 that we've started, which we've got to finish today. Yesterday's race is finished today and then move on. Out of round robin 2, we'll have our 2 semi-finalists. So whoever our 2 semi-finalists are going, our 4 semi-finalists are going to be, we'll get those out of this. So what are we seeing now that we're into Louis Vuitton, now that we're actually into the Challenger Selection Series? And you've got to remember that New Zealand are racing as part of this. So while it's important to know what New Zealand's up to, it's not the focus should not be on them in this, because the reality is that they're probably not doing everything they should be doing in this anyway. It's really, for them, it's really, an opportunity just to get out on the water and get some racing in ahead of the actual America's Cup, because once we move to the semi-finals, they won't be participating in it anymore after that. So they'll have to sit and wait till they get whoever the challenger is going to be. But what we have seen is interesting. What is clear is that once again, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli are definitely well ahead. They're definitely ahead of the pack, and they definitely look to me to be the challenger that is going to come through at this moment. They look to me to be the heavy favourites to challenge. Interestingly enough, Ineos Britannia has got its act together, and there's certainly every chance to get through to the semis, if not the Louis Vuitton finals. My hunch tells me that they're probably, at this stage, possibly not quite up with Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, and they possibly won't, may not get through to the America's Cup final, but long way to go yet. New York American Magic, the New York Yacht Club, they're right there. They're certainly in the mix. And then the other 2, Alinghi and Orient Express, the Swiss and the French, are sort of vying for who's going to get that last spot, I think, in the semis. I would suggest potentially if Orient Express, the French syndicate, gets through, they could cause a surprise in the semi-finals, and you could find them in the Louis Vuitton final decider. But it is interesting at this stage to see where we're at. Once we get at the end of round robin 2, we'll know. We'll have our 4 semi-finalists. We'll know where we stand, who's likely to get through. But at this stage, if you're honest about it, looking at it where we are, Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli is definitely, without doubt, the leading candidate to be the challenger. And then it's a real toss-up as to whether it's who gets into the Louis Vuitton final against them. Does that throw a surprise? I think if Ineos Britannia was to get into the Louis Vuitton final, they would have the potential to take Luna Rossa all the way and maybe make the Cup final. But you've got to remember that the Challenger record has rarely ever made an America's Cup final over the years since the selection process has been in place, since the Challenger selection process has been in place. The Challenger record normally doesn't get to the final, and that wouldn't be any different here. Although that did happen last time. Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli was the Challenger record. It did get there. So it does happen, but not all the time. And it may not happen again here. It just depends. So it's interesting to look at where it's at. But definitely at the moment, of the challengers, Luna Rossa seems to be, Prada Pirelli seems to be the leading candidate to race Team New Zealand for the America's Cup. And then it's a toss-up between the others as to who might really come up to challenge them for that opportunity. So we'll see a little bit more over the next few days. And I look forward to coming back and talking a little bit more as we've moved through round robin 2 and we get to the semi-finals about what the America's Cup is starting to look like. Anyway, I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.